The Interstellar Origin of Humanity. History of Lyra and the Galactic Expansion. Humanity is not an isolated phenomenon confined to the boundaries of Earth, but a vibrant echo of a cosmic saga that originated in the constellation of Lyra, the cradle of the anthropomorphic races known as the Lyrians. Millennia ago, these societies reached a pinnacle of development that established them as guardians of galactic harmony. Their civilization was distinguished by a philosophy deeply rooted in unity with the Source, the universal principle of consciousness that connects all existence. This worldview integrated advanced science, elevated spirituality, and a reverent respect for nature, creating communities that thrived in a dynamic balance between the material and the ethereal. The Lyrians developed technologies that transcended the limitations of conventional physics. They utilized free energy systems based on the manipulation of electromagnetic fields and quantum resonances, enabling them to construct floating cities, interdimensional portals, and ships capable of traveling across star systems. Their architecture reflected principles of sacred geometry, aligned with the frequencies of the cosmos, which not only optimized the functionality of their structures but also strengthened the spiritual connection of their inhabitants. Lyrian arts, from music to sculpture, were expressions of this unity, designed to elevate consciousness and resonate with the vibrations of the Source. However, this galactic idyll was disrupted by conflicts with regressive races, particularly the Reptilians and Draconians, who operated from a mindset of control, scarcity, and domination. These races viewed the Lyrian worlds as a threat to their hegemony due to their focus on freedom, cooperation, and the expansion of consciousness. The confrontations were not only physical but also energetic, involving technologies that manipulated timelines and morphogenic fields. The wars, recorded in stellar annals as the Orion Wars, left scars across multiple systems, destabilizing the harmony that the Lyrians had cultivated. These conflicts triggered a massive diaspora known as the Great Galactic Expansion. Facing the threat of annihilation, the Lyrians embarked on interstellar migrations to distant star systems such as Sirius, the Pleiades, Vega, and the Solar System. This migration was not a desperate flight but a strategic effort to preserve their cultural and spiritual legacy. Each colony became a node of knowledge, a beacon that kept the Lyrian heritage alive while adapting its practices to the unique environments of new worlds. The Lyrians acted as cosmic engineers, seeding life and consciousness on emerging planets, using advanced technologies to terraform environments and foster ecosystems compatible with intelligent life. The Great Expansion was not without challenges. Cultural differences among the colonies, combined with persistent threats from hostile races, required constant adaptations. The Lyrians developed energetic defense systems, such as frequency shields that protected their settlements from psychic and physical attacks. They also established alliances with other advanced races, such as the Sirians and Andromedans, who shared their vision of unity and cooperation. These alliances laid the foundation for the formation of the Galactic Federation, an interstellar organization dedicated to overseeing the development of emerging civilizations and maintaining galactic balance. Each Lyrian colony reflected a unique facet of their heritage. In Sirius, for example, aquatic societies developed, mastering the manipulation of hydrodynamic energies, while in the Pleiades, the focus was on exploring multidimensionality through advanced meditative practices. In the Solar System, Earth became a point of convergence, a melting pot where multiple races collaborated in the creation of a nascent civilization. The Lyrians not only colonized but also left a spiritual legacy that would resonate in terrestrial cultures, from creation myths to practices of nature veneration. The Lyrian philosophy was based on the understanding that every being, every planet, was a unique expression of the Source. This worldview led them to act as custodians of cosmic balance, fostering the evolution of consciousness in the worlds they touched. Their holistic approach integrated science with spirituality, considering that technology should serve the higher purpose of connecting beings with their divine essence. This legacy of unity and cooperation would be fundamental to the development of Earth, a planet destined to become a key stage in the galactic narrative. The Great Expansion also had a profound cultural impact. The Lyrians brought with them oral traditions, astronomical knowledge, and spiritual practices that influenced the civilizations they encountered. In many worlds, they became mythological figures, depicted as gods or celestial guides. On Earth, their presence would be reflected in the stories of the star gods, who guided early civilizations, an echo of their role as sowers of life and knowledge. This process not only preserved the Lyrian heritage but also created a galactic network of shared consciousness, in which Earth would play a central role as a meeting point for stellar races and cultures. Early migrations and settlements on Earth. Approximately 40,000 years ago, groups of Lyrians arrived on Earth, a world that was radically different from the one we know today. Far from the vast oceans that dominate the modern surface, Earth was covered by extensive forests, green prairies, and an intricate network of rivers and lakes that sustained vibrant ecosystems. The geography included 5 additional continents: Oceania, Appalachia, Turania, Fennoscandia, and Beringia, which housed a diversity of life comparable to the most advanced worlds in the galaxy. These continents, now submerged beneath the oceans, were lush, fertile lands with small inland seas, similar to the modern Caspian Sea, and numerous freshwater and saltwater lakes. The Lyrians, drawn by Earth's energetic richness, established strategic settlements in regions abundant in telluric nodes, points where ley lines, energy channels connecting the Earth's surface to its morphogenic field, converged. These bases were not mere colonies but technological and spiritual centers designed to harmonize with the environment. They utilized advanced technologies, such as free energy generators that drew power from the planet's resonances, and constructed structures aligned with key constellations like Orion and Sirius to facilitate interdimensional communication. These bases also served as portals for interacting with the astral plane, allowing the Lyrians to remain connected with the Galactic Federation and other stellar races. Upon arriving, the Lyrians encountered local species, including the Neanderthals, who, contrary to modern narratives, were neither primitive nor barbaric. The Neanderthals possessed a highly evolved society in the spiritual realm, living in harmony with nature. They revered plants and animals, considering them manifestations of universal consciousness, and their connection to Earth was a direct reflection of Lyrian values. Far from being rudimentary hunter-gatherers, the Neanderthals developed incipient agricultural practices and rituals that strengthened their bond with the environment. Their society, though not technologically advanced, was imbued with a spiritual wisdom that resonated with the Lyrian principles of unity and cooperation. The integration between Lyrians and Neanderthals was not immediate. Biological and cultural differences required a mutual adaptation process. The Lyrians shared knowledge of advanced agriculture, such as the use of crops energetically aligned with cosmic seasons, and taught construction techniques that leveraged sacred geometry to amplify the energy of sacred sites. In return, the Neanderthals offered their deep understanding of Earth's ecosystems, helping the Lyrians adapt to the planet's peculiarities. This synergy created hybrid communities that combined stellar wisdom with terrestrial connection, laying the foundation for advanced civilizations like Lemuria and Atlantis. Lyrian settlements were concentrated in strategic regions, such as the area now corresponding to the Pacific Ocean, where Oceania housed vast temple cities that functioned as nodes of energy and knowledge. These cities were not only residential centers but also academies where principles of astronomy, metaphysics, and energetic healing were taught. The Lyrians built structures that acted as cosmic antennas, channeling energy flows from deep space to stabilize the planet's frequency. These bases also served as contact points with other Federation races, facilitating a continuous exchange of information and resources. The impact of the Lyrians on Earth was profound. Their settlements not only transformed the physical landscape but also elevated the collective consciousness of native populations. The Neanderthals, influenced by Lyrian teachings, began to develop more complex spiritual practices, such as group meditations that aligned their consciousness with that of the planet. These practices strengthened the connection between Earth's inhabitants and the galactic network, preparing the ground for the emergence of civilizations that would integrate technology and spirituality in a unique synthesis. Relationship with other races and civilizations in the solar system. The solar system 40,000 years ago was a vibrant mosaic of complex life, with 13 planets orbiting the Sun, each hosting unique ecosystems that supported intelligent life forms. According to stellar records, these planets included Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Tiamat, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Ohalum, Haumea, and Makemake. Unlike modern terrestrial science, which classifies planets based on size and composition, the Galactic Federation defined them by their capacity to sustain complex life, whether on their surfaces or their moons. This approach highlighted the importance of Earth and other worlds as nodes in a cosmic network of consciousness. Venus and Earth were home to anthropomorphic races similar to the Lyrians, with societies that combined advanced technology with spiritual practices. Venus, in particular, hosted communities that mastered the manipulation of thermal and atmospheric energies, creating habitable environments on a planet that, according to terrestrial science, would be inhospitable. Earth, on the other hand, was a melting pot of races, where Lyrians coexisted with native species like Homo erectus and Homo habilis, in addition to the Neanderthals. These species, mistakenly described as primitive, possessed levels of spiritual development that made them compatible with Lyrian teachings. Tiamat, an aquatic planet with 90% of its surface covered by water, was home to highly intelligent and culturally advanced Sirian beings. These beings, with physiology adapted to aquatic environments, built floating and underwater cities that harnessed the energy of ocean currents. Their society was imbued with a philosophy of unity, similar to that of the Lyrians, and maintained a close connection with the Galactic Federation. Tiamat's cities were centers of art and science, with technologies that manipulated water's properties to generate energy and communicate through vibrational resonances. Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and other planets also supported life, either on their surfaces or their moons. Mars, for example, sustained communities living in underground habitats protected from solar radiation, while Jupiter's moons, such as Europa and Ganymede, hosted aquatic ecosystems with intelligent life forms. The Galactic Federation oversaw these interactions, facilitating cultural and technological exchange between worlds. Earth, in particular, was seen as a point of convergence, a place where Lyrian, Sirian, Andromedan, and other races collaborated in the development of a nascent civilization. The absence of a strict veil of forgetfulness on Earth allowed its inhabitants to remember their stellar origins, facilitating guidance from the Federation. The Lyrians and other races shared knowledge of astronomy, energetic medicine, and free energy technologies, helping terrestrial populations develop advanced societies. However, this openness also attracted the attention of regressive races, such as the Reptilians and Draconians, who saw Earth as a strategic resource due to its energetic richness and position in the solar system. These races began infiltrating terrestrial dynamics, sowing the seeds of conflicts that would culminate in catastrophic events, such as the destruction of Tiamat. The interaction between the races of the solar system was not merely functional but deeply cultural. The Sirians, for example, shared with the Lyrians a love for the arts, creating musical compositions that resonated with cosmic frequencies. These works were used in rituals that aligned collective consciousness with that of the universe, strengthening bonds between worlds. Earth, as a meeting point, benefited from this exchange, developing a culture that integrated elements of multiple stellar traditions. The myths of the sky gods, who guided early terrestrial civilizations, are an echo of these interactions, preserved in humanity's collective memory. The presence of the Galactic Federation in the solar system was not invasive but collaborative. The Prime Directive, which prohibits interference in undeveloped cultures, was not strictly applied on Earth due to the collective memory of previous interventions, such as the Tiamat Wars. This allowed stellar races to openly guide terrestrial populations, sharing technologies and knowledge that accelerated their evolution. However, this openness also created vulnerabilities, as regressive races exploited the lack of restrictions to infiltrate and manipulate terrestrial dynamics, setting the stage for conflicts that would alter the course of planetary history. Earth's energetic richness, derived from its ley lines and telluric nodes, made it a strategic point in the solar system. The Lyrians and their allies recognized this potential, working to protect the planet from regressive influences. However, the complexity of galactic interactions, combined with the diversity of agendas within the Federation, created tensions that would challenge Earth's stability. These conflicts, though invisible to the terrestrial inhabitants of the time, would have a lasting impact, shaping the destiny of humanity and its place in the cosmos.